He arrived in Rome as property. The ship manifest listed him as cargo. The year was approximately 55 AD, and Epictetus, whose name in Greek means acquired, was purchased by Epaphroditos, a freedman who worked as a secretary to Emperor Nero. There is a story that has been told for 2,000 years. His master, curious about what pain Epictetus could endure, began twisting his leg. Epictetus said calmly, "You will break it." The master twisted harder. Epictetus said, "I told you so." The bones snapped. Epictetus did not cry out. He simply noted, without apparent emotion, that the prediction had been correct. Whether the story is literally true doesn't matter. What matters is that the people who knew Epictetus believed it was exactly the kind of thing he would do. Epictetus never owned his freedom as a child. He was property. And yet he became one of the most influential thinkers in Western history. He eventually was granted his freedom, either by his master or after Nero's death, when many slaves were released. And he did what freed slaves almost never did. He became a philosopher. He opened a school in northwestern Greece, and for decades he taught anyone who would listen. Rich men came to study with him, senators, future emperors. The irony was not lost on him. He talked constantly about the dichotomy of control. There are things in your power and things not in your power. In your power, your opinions, your impulses, your desires, your aversions. Not in your power, your body, your reputation, your position, your possessions. Confuse them and you will suffer endlessly. He had been born into the worst possible confirmation of this idea. He could not control whether he was enslaved. He could not control whether his master was cruel. He could not control whether his leg was broken. But he could control his response. Men are disturbed not by the things which happen, but by the opinions about the things. Epictetus never wrote anything. Like Socrates before him, he believed the spoken conversation was where philosophy lived. His student Arian followed him everywhere and took notes. Those notes became the Discourses and the Enchiridion, a small handbook of Stoic practice that has been in continuous publication for nearly 2,000 years. The Enchiridion opens with a sentence that has stopped readers cold for 20 centuries. Some things are in our control and others not. That is the entire system. Everything else is commentary. He taught that freedom is not about your circumstances. A man in chains who has mastered his own mind is freer than an emperor who is controlled by his passions. He had personal evidence for this. He taught that you should never say about anything that you have lost it, only that you have returned it. Your child dies. The child was returned. Your property is taken. It was returned. You only borrowed them anyway. Marcus Aurelius, writing 2 generations later as the most powerful man on earth, cited Epictetus specifically. The slave shaped the emperor. Epictetus lived into old age in simple circumstances. He reportedly owned almost nothing, one clay lamp which was stolen. He didn't pursue its return. He died sometime around 135 AD. No one recorded exactly where he was buried. The man who had once been owned by someone else owned nothing at the end. By his own philosophy, that was exactly right. Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life. He arrived in Rome as cargo. He left it as the foundation of Western philosophy.